welcome. I'm Peggy. We have a very busy time ahead, and I urge you to stay tuned. A little bit later on, we have some people from a Circle of Life, and we're going to find out what we need to know about probate court and making a will and the things that we don't even think about until we're in a crisis. We have phone numbers and websites. Now, first of all, I'm going to introduce somebody that I have great respect for, and I'm honored that you're here. God bless you.
Thank you.
Everybody knows Jack Logan. And he founded something called Put Down the Guns, Young People. And next to him is Rickey Webb. And Rick, you've become president of this organization, and he founded it.
Yes, ma'am.
And it started right here in a small way, and you're spreading now into other areas, and especially in our state. And you've been to Chicago, and you're going back to Chicago, where there's awful crime, murders committed, and now we have it here all the time. All you have to do is open your newspaper, and there's somebody shot. And a lot of it is kids.
Yes, absolutely. And it's very sad and very depressing.
And it's gotten dangerous. Many people hesitate, and they're always looking around, and they hesitate to go to certain places.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So now what do we need to know? What are you going to share with us today?
Well,
Put down the guns, young people.
Right.
Yes,
I'm asking that every parent make sure that their child, whether it's a child or teen, is not in possession of a firearm in their house. And if they have a firearm around a small child, to make sure it's out of the way for a child to get their hand on. As well as I'm asking again, when a child leaves home, or a teen, especially teenagers with book bags, to make sure that that parent search those book bags prior to leaving for school and when they come home from school, because they may run into a child who may give them a gun, or they may find a gun laying out somewhere and pick it up. Anything that to protect and prevent someone's life from being taken or hurt.
Now, we have a growing problem in South Carolina, and you know that. Now, you actually go into neighborhoods and talk to these kids. And
we do. We have reached out in a lot of communities, good and bad, because now what we're finding out, it's not so much in the targeted poor income areas. Satan is so busy, now he's bothering those kids who are raised up, by good parents,
yes,
getting a good education. And they run into the other crowd of kids who may not have that father figure at home, and they be easily influenced to do the bad things. And those are things that we work very hard on. But sometimes, Ms. Denny, we found it very difficult within the last 4 to 5 days, where you have adults who are trying to encourage kids to riot against police officers. And the Bible teaches obeying the law of the land, and obeying authority. And that's one thing you would never hear me say, talk down about any police officer, no matter what the situation is. And I don't think no one should try to encourage kids to disobey authority or any adult. And we find ourselves busy in competition with Satan, trying to tell kids not to disobey police.
now you actually go into, Saturday nights and whenever there's a curfew, but you still go walk around and talk to kids. You go into neighborhoods that are questionable, that maybe would be a little scary. And you try to talk to some of these kids and explain to them the dangers involved into getting into the wrong company, and guns and violence.
We do, and sometimes we go into neighborhoods, and I'm very quick to say, kids see us, Rick goes out a lot with me, and they'll run from me and run the house, because they say, oh, he looks like a probation officer, and Rick be dressed different that fit with them, and they will open up communications with him. And I just continue on my way, and then eventually he'll call me back to them. And the two of us will share positive ideas with the kids.
And what is your response? I know you have meetings. I know you're going to have something in Spartanburg coming up pretty soon. But you have meetings, and you try to get these kids to come?
Right, we do. We had, our most recent meeting was in West Greenville, where we had the Greenville City police officers to come and talk to kids, and as well as parents about gun locks and about education, religion, and we educate small children with different tactics, not to touch a gun if they find one. We do a lot at our events, and now we do have one coming up in Spartanburg, and I'm very excited about going to Spartanburg because of Sheriff Chuck Wright there. And he works extremely hard, and gun violence in Spartanburg is out of control, and that is a very religious county. I was raised in that county, and I cannot believe every time I turn the TV on, there's shootings in Spartanburg County with so many great people in that town, in that county, and we plan to reach out there and do what we can do and educate children and teens. Do not copycat from what these adults are doing. Yeah. Spartanburg do not have that many teens doing violence with guns in that county. But when Satan is busy, kids learns from adults, and we want to make sure that these kids in Spartanburg County, like we do everywhere else, stay in school, always obey mom and dad, and find some religion of your belief.
That's the magic word. Many of these kids come from homes that there are no mom and dad as such. The traditional, the father's not there, maybe the mother's out or work trying to hold 2 or 3 jobs. The kids are just kind of left, and they're influenced by other kids.
That is so correct. And I say this to any teen, male that's listening, if you don't have a father in your house, I'm sure that's not a police officer out there, because I see Chief Miller doing it. They spend a lot of time stopping on basketball courts, playing games with kids here in the city of Greenville. And I'm sure, I don't care whether you live in Charleston, Spartanburg, Anderson, if you need someone to talk to, I'm sure there's not a police officer that would not take the time to talk to you. And away from police officer, it could just be a business person. Just tell people that you need someone to talk to before you make the wrong decision.
Yes.
Now, you have, like Rickey, you have some people helping you who've come on board. What do you need? What can, we're sitting here listening to this, we're concerned. What can we do? You said the courts are sending people to you.
Right now in Greenville County, the family court, through the probation office, and the courts recommend kids to come to our organization because they know we stay busy daily, and we need all the help we can get. And those kids participate with us in various activities, going door to door, handing out literature, if nothing but stand on the side of the road with a banner, sit with our message on that banner. And next week in Spartanburg, I plan to use a lot of them with the setup, the cleanup, to teach them how to work, little things like that. But at the same time, we spend a lot of time one-on-one with them, talking to them, counseling them, so they would not make the same mistake again, because we want to see them grow up to be productive citizens in America.
Now, do you have a place where these kids can come? Do you have regular meetings, or do you just kind of walk around in the neighborhoods?
Well,
how does this work?
we do have regular meetings. We meet at different branches of the libraries, and we let them know beforehand. And we spend a lot of time grassrooting. When we do form events like we're having in Spartanburg, that takes away of time from us reaching out to other areas, because I've got to make sure that event goes well and go spend a lot of time in Spartanburg, inviting people, not so much to get numbers, but inviting people to bring that team so they can get a good message. And I assure the people in Spartanburg, I myself is going to deliver a message to those children and teens that no one would want to miss. And I'm very excited about that because, again, Chuck Wright is the greatest sheriff to me in America. And they deserve better in that county. Trey Gotti he's our congressman now.
Yeah.
He's one of the best prosecutors, and Satan has just came into that county and taken over right now. But the man above is sending us a group of people there to deliver messages to the people in Spartanburg, and that's exactly what we plan to do. Yes. It's going to be a great event. It's going to be at C.C. Woodson Community Center, located at 210 Beaumont Avenue, and it starts at 6 p.m. That's on a Saturday night, February the 21st.
But you have other, if you miss that one, there will be others.
There will be that right. We have a lot of events planned in Greenville, Lawrence, Anderson, the entire state. We and as well as Chicago. I'm excited about going back to Chicago. You ask me, and a lot of people ask me, "Oh, am I scared?" No, I'm not scared. I will do the work of God if it means losing my life. The men have got to stand up for God's word. And it's not to be, I'm so afraid that people see crime. We had a 15-year-old boy that was murdered in the city of Greenville. Somebody saw that crime.
Yeah.
And they're trying to protect.
Well, people are afraid to get involved. That really.
Well, we have Crime Stoppers in the city. Most people all they have to do is pick up the telephone and call and report any suspicious activity.
And you don't have to give your
You don't have to give
name
your
or
name. You don't have
any
to give
kind of
your name.
identification.
Right. And it's bad to hear people say that child is bad or this kid is bad. They got what was coming to them. In my sight, there's no child bad. Everyone can be reached. Jesus went into some of the worst places to reach them, the people. And that's exactly what we do, doing God's work. And I'm so proud to have, people like Rick. Rick is not a talker like I am, but he do the job out in the community. And I brag on him to all the elected officials.
And how do you choose? I mean,
well, how did I get Rick?
No, but some of us would say, well, we'd like to help. You know the neighborhoods that need you.
Right. And how at first we started targeting predominantly poor areas.
Yeah.
But it changed. When you hear of shootings in the rich areas, like I thought I never would go to Oconee County because I looked at those people over there. But no, there were some teens over there who's been in possession of guns and doing violent crimes with guns, as well as Pickens and all over the state. And because Satan is a busy man.
Well, you're busy too.
Yeah.
You're doing something that a lot of people need to know about. And I'll keep that information here if you didn't get it, the phone number and so forth. And if anybody wants to get involved, I guess there are other things that they can do besides going out into a kind of different neighborhood.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
You have other things that people can do
right.
besides going at night to a questionable neighborhood and talking to people.
If nothing but a telephone call or doing literature, anything that they could help do to protect and prevent tragedies of people.
Yes.
Well, it only takes one or two people to turn the tide, and you've started that.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
I know you've already received some awards for your work, and I say God bless you. Will you keep us posted?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Put down the guns, young people. We'll be right back.